morning, and welcome to another episode of Judging Things That Aren't Meant to Be Judged. Today we will be judging the DCI 2021 finals shows. Due to public health reasons, DCI had a shortened season this year, so finals in Indianapolis was not judged. Until now, because I'm going to be judging it, because I'm an opinionated and interesting person. The judging criteria is as follows. 1. How much I liked the show. 2. I guess there is no 2. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just know that I do appreciate all of the Drum Corps' efforts this year, and I'm glad that we actually had a season. It's very good and very exciting. But I will be turning this into a contest, and not everyone can be a winner in a contest, okay? Some people will lose, and you'll have your feelings hurt. That's just the way it goes. But before we get into it, make sure that you click that subscribe button, ring that Liberty Bell, and click that like button. Okay, let's get into the judging. In 26th place with a score of nice, the Columbus Saints. So they were a very small drum corps, by far the smallest, but the members seem to be having a real good time performing this show. They're playing some fun music with popular songs. It's definitely good to see them out there performing. In 25th place with a score of 70, the University of Cincinnati. Yes, I am lumping this college band into this contest. Like I said before, anyone who showed up and played will be judged by me today. You will be judged. But I thought they sounded great. They played some college fight songs to get the audience all pumped up, and they went on first, so there was barely anyone in the crowd, but, well, it got me pumped up, okay? You got me pumped up. And yeah, talking about a shortened season, I don't think the college band season even started yet, so they were able to throw this together probably with, like, 0 rehearsal, so good for you guys. I'm proud of you. In 24th place with a score of 71, the Colt Cadets. This drum corps was on the smaller side, but they were mighty. They were small but mighty. That's a good thing. The show was called Apart Together, and I believe that they had certain groups who were divided up and then came together throughout the show. I think, maybe. And I definitely appreciated their trombone soloist. That guy killed it. In 23rd place with a score of 73, the Blue Devils. The Blue Devils were one of a few corps that decided to do a video rather than go on tour. And these videos were shown on the big screen at the stadium during DCI finals, so they're going to be judged, okay? Everything that happened there will be judged. So I found this video to be very interesting, okay? This is interesting. I definitely appreciate the choppiness of the little licks in here, but I feel like they chose to make this video more about showing off the editors and how good they can do. I mean, I appreciate video editing as much as the next guy, but I mean, I was trying to watch like a DCI show. I feel like everyone watching this video knows that the Blue Devils are extremely talented, okay? Like half the corps is INE champions. But for whatever reason, they did not put that much music in this. It was more visual. It kind of felt like I was at a rave party, and yeah, it was interesting. I am curious to hear from some of the members, so if you were in this Blue Devils video, please compose a comment and let me know what you think of this final product and if you enjoyed it. Honestly, that's what is most important. If you're proud of what you did and like watching it, that's what's really important. In 22nd place with a score of 74, Cincinnati Tradition. These guys did a really cool tribal themed show. It was pretty dark at times, and I definitely like dark shows. You can see I'm wearing my Chickens and Demons t-shirt. Anyone who watches the channel knows I like those kinds of dark themes, okay? Spooky is good. I thought the music was very energetic and exciting, and I definitely appreciated the face paint and the uniforms. Very nice job. In 21st place with a score of 77, River City Rhythm. This show had a circus-style theme. They actually started the whole show by parading into the stadium. I thought that was very interesting. They played some cool carnival-style music, some very interesting arrangements, and I definitely appreciated the drum feature. It was quite epic. In 20th place with a score of 79, Gold. So this show is meant to take place inside of a bar. This bar just happens to be the size of an NFL football field. They had props that were the door of the bar and some tables, and this is the kind of bar that I want to go to, okay? I want to walk into a bar and have an entire drum corps marching around the whole thing. That would be really fun. I definitely like the musical arrangements of this show. I believe it was all early 1900s music to give it that speakeasy theme. In 19th place with a score of 81, Music City. This show was called Circuloso. They had all kinds of circular props, they had circles on the guard uniforms, and they even had the color guard using hula hoops. I really appreciated the sound effects and miking effects used throughout the show. I thought it gave it a very interesting quality. Now, I did make an entire video about a month ago about the flub drum section. This is the only drum corps in all of DCI this year that used a flub drum section. And I mentioned in that video that I was curious to hear how they sounded with the rest of the ensemble, and honestly, I couldn't hear them, like, at all. Sorry, guys. Although I was able to hear the cymbal stacks, like when it doubled rim shots on the snare drum. I thought that added a pretty cool timbre, so that was good. In 18th place with a score of 83, The Academy. This show had some pretty epic prop design in it. I definitely liked the ramps that went across the back of the front ensemble. That was really cool, and it really exposed a lot of the soloists. I guess that was the point. The show's called Exposed. And how can you not love this show when it starts off with a tenor feature right in the front? That is the best way to start out a show. Everyone take notes. In 17th place with a score of 84, Spirit of Atlanta. This show was called The Bottle Tree, and their props were literal trees with bottles as the leaves. This seemed like it was kind of like a little bit dark and creepy at times. Honestly, the all-white uniforms and the general creepiness of it kind of reminded me of that Midsummer movie, which if you haven't seen that movie, don't. It's gonna give you nightmares. But I still appreciated the music and the visual package of the show. Very nice job. In 16th place with a score of 85, the Colts. I definitely appreciated the very colorful props and the guard uniforms and flags, very, very visually outstanding. There was quite a lot of body and choreography in this show. They were literally leaping through the air, which makes sense because the show is called Leap of Faith. I thought they played very, very cleanly throughout the show. I enjoyed this one. In 15th place with a score of 86, Pacific Crest. So this show was about being in an experiment, and I really liked the pathway they had on the floor. They had the gigantic X-tarp going across the whole field. Very interesting to look at. And they played Feelin' Good in this show. We play that too in the Commandant Zone. That's a really cool song. It's really, really fun. In 14th place with a score of 87, the Blue Knights. I believe this show was a throwback to previous years, like they played the same music that they did in the past. A lot of cores chose to do that kind of theme this year, which kind of makes sense for it being a non-competitive year. But I thought they sounded fantastic. I really liked the sparkly uniforms, and the bass drum feature was freaking fire. In 13th place with a score of 88, the Crossmen. This is another one that I believe to be a throwback show, that I don't think there was any theming to it, but I thought they sounded absolutely amazing. Though I was kind of surprised to see the lack of cymbal line out there. Yeah, I thought Crossman was one of the last drum corps that fielded a cymbal line. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. But I definitely liked this show. I thought they sounded very clean, and I thought the music was really cool and well written. In 12th place with a score of 90, Santa Clara Vanguard. So this was another one of the groups that decided to submit a video rather than going on tour, and I thought this one was done extremely well. The music was really, really cool. I thought it was well mixed, and honestly, I felt like I was watching a movie as this show was going on. The editors did a very good job making this. And honestly, I feel like in the future, more drum corps should do this, in addition to marching their actual field show. In today's day and age, it's all about that digital media, okay? I think it would be cool if more corps just took a day during tour to film an extra thing like Santa Clara Vanguard did this year. That's something I would really like to see, and I hope more corps consider doing that. In 11th place with a score of 91, the Madison Scouts. The show was called Between the Lines. They played classical music. They had lines on the field that I believe were supposed to represent the 5 lines of a music staff. I definitely liked the music in this one a lot. I thought the piano soloist did a real good job. In fact, the entire front ensemble was really, really outstanding. That definitely stood out to me since there's a heavy influence of piano in classical music, so they use front ensemble a lot. And I definitely appreciated the jazzy edition of Fur Elise. In 10th place with a score of 94, the Blue Stars. The prop design and staging was crazy in this show. I thought it was super cool. They had a full tarp that was a train map, which I believe was supposed to be New York City. I think this whole show took place in New York City, maybe. They also had an actual vehicle on the floor, and normally you would get disqualified for using motorized vehicles in your show, but, well, there's no rules this year. You can do whatever you want. Although nobody got in the car and drove it around the field. That's what I was waiting for the entire show. Little bit of a missed opportunity there. But the music was exciting, it was really lively and very clean. In 9th place with a score of 94.5, the Mandarins. They They had all sorts of tarps all over the field, and they were literally painting the field red with the tarps and also with the props off to the side. As the show went on, they continued to create their very abstract red masterpiece. And they were throwing frisbees around. I mean, who doesn't love frisbees? I thought the music was really cool. They played In the End of Night, but they didn't do the drum fill, like the boom boom. I was waiting for it, and it never happened. But besides that, I liked the music a lot, and I definitely appreciated the snare feature. In 8th place with a score of 94.7, the Bluecoats. So many colorful, huge props in this. Oh my goodness, bro. This must have taken freaking forever, but it looked really, really amazing. And honestly, I thought this was gonna be like a carnival-themed show before it actually started because of how bright and colorful and like wavy all the props were. But the show was called Lucy, and I assume the girl in the dress was Lucy, and they played that Lucy in the Sky song, but I'm not exactly sure what else Lucy was up to during the show. But I definitely appreciated the visual aesthetic of the show, and the music was really cool and lively as well. And I want to congratulate the Bluecoats on setting 2 world records in this show. One for the most epic bass 5 solo, and 2 for the longest snare feature ever at 52 seconds. In 7th place with a score of 96, Phantom Regiment. So I actually did a reaction to this entire show. If you want to check that out, the link is down below. But this was another corps that decided to do a throwback show. This one was to their 2003 show, Harmonic Journey, which they used the same music. I thought they sounded amazing and played very cleanly. Not much to say besides that. Fantastic job. In 6th place with a score of 96.2, Carolina Crown. So this was another throwback show. They actually featured the uniforms from all past years, and the current uniform was a throwback to the hashtag Purple Pants Band year. And I'm in this show, sort of. My name is in the show. Yeah, they had the names of all the alumni spelled out on all of the props. So yeah, they definitely got some extra points for that one. I never said this competition was going to be fair, okay? I thought the music was really, really good, and I thought they were extremely clean. And by the way, in addition to starting the season later, they ended their season in July, like a month before everyone else, and they were this freaking good at that time. That's pretty amazing. In 5th place with a score of 96.5, the Boston Crusaders. I definitely liked the video screen props in this show. That made it stand out a lot. And all the videos being played lined up to what was happening musically. I thought that was really cool and definitely probably took a whole lot of planning to make that happen. But we were zooming through history, literally. This show was called Zoom, and it was a historical throwback show. But they also did some new arrangements, which I thought was very cool. They did a very interesting rap section. And their drum line had a really cool feature way up in the front sideline. In 4th place with a score of 97, the Cadets. This was again a throwback show with some new elements thrown into it. They played some of their greatest hits from previous years, and they did the 2005 ballad, and I think this is my favorite ballad in all of DCI. Like, it's one of, like, very few ballads that I actually watch and don't skip through. And there were some definite visual and listening responsibility demands that were very, very difficult and usually take a whole summer to clean up, but they figured out how to do it in a short amount of time. Like, right here, like, dude, this is so freaking hard to make this line up, and they did it perfectly. But I think my favorite part of this show was the Moon Dance drum feature. This was super cool and very, very clean. In third place with a score of 98, the Cavaliers. This is another one that I did an entire video reacting to. If you want to watch that, link is in the description. This was a really fun show, and I loved all of the musical arrangements. I thought they were extremely clean, and the music was really fun, and the drum feature was really epic. And they had the best throwback ending of all, the Still Not Done. Also known as Please Stand Up. Some people are calling me out for that. You can think of it as whatever you want. It's chum chum chum, chum chum chum, chum chum chum. Something like that. In second place with a score of 98.5, the Troopers. Yeah, you know how I said I love dark and mysterious shows? Well, this was a dark and mysterious show, and I freaking loved it. Yeah, I was just drawn in immediately by the very beginning sample, this really creepy rise. It kind of reminded me of the way Stranger Things starts with their intro. This show was titled Unleashed, and I thought they unleashed maximum cleanliness, because this was really, really good. The timpani player with the eye patch looks like a total badass, and this drum feature where they're tethered together, that was epic. In first place with a score of 110. Yeah, I can do that. Alright, it's my video. I can do whatever I want. The Commandant's Own, the United States Marine Corps Drum and Bugle Corps. Yes, this group is all professional musicians, and I am also in this group. I am on the drum set for this show. And yeah, it's totally not fair that I get to judge my own show, but life's not fair, so you're gonna have to get over it. Our show was an arrangement of all jazz songs. This was a very fun show to perform, and I definitely appreciated all the fangirling from the audience when I walked out there. And of course, the Marines will always be number one, Okay, so there it is, DCI 2021, ranked and rated by yours truly. Compose a comment down below and let me know if you agree or disagree with my rankings. I also want to give a quick shout out to Flow Marching for giving me permission to use their videos. Don't worry, this won't get taken down, okay? I promise. Hopefully this video was enjoyable. If you think it was, make sure that you click that subscribe button, ring that Liberty Bell, and click that like button. And also consider buying a custom t-shirt, such as this one. I will leave that link in the description. And have a good morning.